YouTube, Awesome Rider here. Welcome to my review for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers vs. Godzilla 2, Issue 3. Lots of numbers going on here. So this issue continued to be enjoyable. I've overall been enjoying this story. It's a lot more engaging than the first one. A little bit messier. The first one was obviously pretty simple, and this one isn't necessarily complicated, but it definitely has a lot more moving elements, feels a lot more almost akin to kind of like a Toku crossover with a lot of like moving parts and pieces and stuff, but I find it to be more enjoyable than those. But I do like it. This issue kind of moved fast and was kind of heading towards the debut of the Kaiju Ranger forms, as you have them kind of on the ropes and the Zords are being destroyed, or severely damaged rather, and they need to jump to another universe to sort of escape. I'm trying to think what this reminds me of. It reminds me of another story where they're just like trying to escape and they just keep jumping to different universes and are being followed. They end up jumping to this universe where they meet these twins. Twins, Basil, twins! Now again, I just want to remind you guys, I'm a very casual Godzilla fan. I pretty much only like the MonsterVerse movies, and you know, obviously I finally saw -1, which was amazing. A very rare movie that lives up to the hype. Like oftentimes things are overhyped, and even if they're great, like the over amount of hype leading up to it kind of softens the impact, but that did not happen. And that's a mini review of Godzilla -1, which I might have accidentally called Shin Godzilla, which I've done. But bottom line is, very casual fan, so I know like very little. So obviously these twins have something to do with the mythology of Mothra, because Mothra's there in that world when they are trying to regroup. But eventually they do wind up regrouping, I think, at the main universe while everything repairs. And they do also have these alternate Rangers. They have Billy and I want to say Kimberly from like the alternate Apocalypse dimension there. I feel like I'm curious why they're there. I mean, obviously they were there to show that that universe was in danger, but I feel like it makes things a little bit needlessly more confusing and complicated, because you have your main team, you have the White Ranger from a different time, and then you have these other alternate MMPR Rangers. I kind of wish that they maybe had something to make them stand out as different. Kind of like in the main comic right now, you have the main team and then the Draken team. Like, I don't know, it just feels needlessly confusing, and then to have them come back. I'm just curious if they're going to play some sort of important role as to why they brought them back to the main dimension. But then they discover a way to fight back, and they're like, oh, we can sort of take the power from all these creatures from these different dimensions when they create these new power coins, and it flashes to all the creatures that the Ranger powers are going to be based off of, which again, I have very limited knowledge. I only sort of recognize some of the names, or recognize the names from when people were naming off what they were going to be based off of when I did the news video talking about these forms, but it kind of ends off with them transforming into the Kaiju forms. Now, I really love the Kaiju Ranger designs. Like, when we first got that picture of them from the cover, they looked great. I thought they were really cool. I really love that this series has been doing one of my favorite things about the Turtles crossover, which is these crossover designs, which, in my opinion, especially for the Turtles series, is a really nice balance of, it's fan servicey because it's like, hey, what if these two mashed up? But it mostly fits the plot, and this felt like that. I like that. Like, it's obviously done for a fan service what if, but it feels right, and I think it makes it feel like a more unique crossover when you have that element, instead of just two of them meeting and fighting, or meeting and teaming up. It's like, I don't know, I like the way it blends that together. However, I have to say, for a negative, the art in this has been so mixed. It's really funny because the first Godzilla series for this I enjoyed for the art, honestly, mainly. Like, it was a really simple plot. It wasn't like it wasn't enjoyable, it wasn't like it was amazing, but the main thing I really liked was the art. I think it really did a good job of bringing to life the sort of excitement you can for that on the page. Because obviously the excitement of seeing these two properties cross over would be getting to see them fighting or fighting alongside each other in the robots, and it's kind of hard to replicate that feeling on the page, in my opinion, but I think they came pretty close for the medium with the art. Like, had this really epic feeling art, felt like some classic 90s comic art. I really liked that. So despite the fact that the story was really simple, I really enjoyed the graphics of it. But then this is like the opposite, where I'm like enjoying the story a lot more. I'm really curious what hybridization is going to happen, what elements they're going to bring in, but the art has been kind of fugly in my opinion. No offense, I'm not the biggest fan of it. Like I just said, I love the Kaiju Rangers design, but their first appearance at the very end of the issue did not give them very much justice. It was just, I don't know, I'm not a fan. It's kind of ugly, and it's very unfortunate because there's so many more cool elements and monsters and designs in this that I would love to see in the style of the first one. Something else I also found interesting is, well, also interesting and kind of neat, is you have Rita and Astronema bickering about who's like being more productive, but they also mentioned that they've captured other Rangers from other dimensions, and I'm curious to see if that comes into play at all and what other Rangers they've met. Also, the MMPR team is like, oh, these are the Psycho Rangers, they're not the Psycho Rangers we know, and I think that's really interesting that the Rangers, or the MMPR team from this universe, know the Psycho Rangers, since obviously in like the main universe and the comics universe and any of the universes we've touched on the Psycho Rangers, they really only are known by the Space Team and the Galaxy Team. I mean, obviously you have Psycho Green in the MMPR main comic, but they only really met them with the 69 team, so I don't know, I thought that was interesting. But yeah, overall enjoyable issue, nothing super special to write home about, but it's a good time, especially if you enjoy these properties. What are you thinking of the issues? Are you enjoying the Kaiju Rangers? Let me know in the comments as always. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps to ring that bell to get notifications for my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.